can be used in a very short period of time. And so I want to just, mostly I think I want to just stimulate some conversation or questions during the question and answer period. So I want to, I'll go through this fairly quickly. What I've learned, because I came out of a really traditional medical training and education and have moved into this world of looking at things, from a much more of a complementary alternative therapy vision. And the one thing that strikes me about that is that most all of the modalities that I'll talk about or that you've heard about are all fairly holistic. They look at the client. You're not just a woman with fibroids. You're a woman who has a number of things going on, and fibroids is just one of them. So that when you think about doing alternative therapies, it's very comprehensive. It is it's nutrition, it's exercise, it's stress reduction, it's supplementation, it can be homeopathy, it can be body work, it can be acupuncture, it can be castor oil packs, it can be a lot of different things. And although, as I'm sure much of the medical community says, a lot of these things are not necessarily been studied or tried, many women find out that they are very, very effective. And I think that what I found is that probably, as Joanne has said, that the people who are more likely to do alternative therapies are the people who are sort of in the watchful and waiting period. They feel they don't have symptoms that affect their lives quite as much as the woman who is more likely to go in and have surgery or ablation or any other kind of more surgical approach or even medical approach, but they have some latitude to be able to do things that are not necessarily going to cause them to become terribly anemic or weak or sick or any other thing. In terms of diet or nutrition, much like we see in the alternative world, there is the things that they talk to you about, the things that they suggest are very much the things that they're going to talk to you if you have heart disease or if you've got diabetes or if you've got cholesterol or something. It's a matter of avoiding sugar, vegetable oils, trans fats, dairy, red meat, processed foods, alcohol, refined grains, and additives. Some of you might be thinking, well, what am I going to eat? What's left to eat now? The good news is that there are a lot of things that you can eat. It's just that avoiding all those things can really change the course of a fibroid. Lifestyle is an interesting one because I think that lifestyle is that word. I went on the internet to try to find out what the word lifestyle means. I mean, we've all learned that as medical providers, and it all comes down to the stuff about reduce stress and exercise and eat well and pray and do all that stuff. But for the most part, it's really a bigger thing than that. It's really about our lives on this earth and how we fit into the world, how we fit into our families, how we feel about being women, how we feel about being mothers if we are, or doctors or nurses or teachers. It's a bigger thing. Dr. Christina Northrup talks about the energy of the uterus, and I wanted to read to you this because I can't say it quite as well as she does. The uterus and the ovaries are the major organs in the second chakra. This area is both literally and figuratively creative space, out of which women can produce babies, relationships, careers, novels, insights, and other creative and artistic work. The idea of the uterus being so important to us, I think that it's very, very hard for an awful lot of us to really think, well, okay, we can just go in there and cut the thing out, because it's just not a throwaway organ. It is part of our creative fire. It's what makes us have the drive to do the things we do and the desires to do the things we do. So that whole issue of chakras and energy, There are modalities that will allow you to work with that particular area of your body. There are meditations to do, there are affirmations to do, there is exercises, there's Reiki, there's talking to one of the participants earlier, there's castor oil packs. Now, who the heck knows what castor oil does when it's applied to the outside of the body? We know what it does when you take it internally, but that's more of a GI thing than it is actually your uterus. But we have found, I certainly have found in my own practice, that people who use castor oil packs for fibroids have been known to shrink them. I felt them. I felt the fibroids just go away with that. It's a non-toxic. It's very easy to do. It's I think of it as also as a meditation. We have a lot of activity in terms of acupuncture here in town, and the concept of whether we talk about chakras or whether we talk about acupuncture, there is the idea that there is very possibly some kind of block in the pelvis, whether it's an energetic block because of a chakra that's blocked, or whether it's because of a meridian in the Chinese medicine that is blocked, and that the idea is that the needles can help to open up the energy of that, and so that you don't have this stagnant energy just hanging out in the pelvis. Excuse me. The other piece about acupuncture, as I mentioned earlier to one of the participants, is that we have a lot of acupuncturists who do needles only. Some of the real traditional Chinese acupuncturists feel like the herbal treatments are really the mainstay for Chinese medicine, and that needles only support the herbs. But nonetheless, it's still a matter of trying to really open up energies and open up blocks. There is the issue of herbs and supplements. I know that all of you, anybody who has a fibroid, probably has certainly talked about these, taking iron as a supplement, which is pretty easy to recognize as if you're actually becoming anemic because of the amount of bleeding you're having. But there are other supplements. Most of them actually either support the pituitary gland, like Vitex, or else they support the liver in an effort to try to manage some of the toxins that may be appearing or problematic for the liver to be able to really get rid of other toxins that are going on. Again, it's a whole kind of a global system of looking at every system and making sure that not only is your uterus working right, but your thyroid's working right, that your pituitary gland's working right, that your liver is functional, as well as your bowels. So thank you very much.